coffee break on the HAN network. I'm Kate Czaplinski with the latest local news, including a driver crashed into a Stratford home Sunday morning. Frank Renito will have a look at your forecast, and later on a Nutmeg sports update, and Donald Lang will join us later to take a look back on this day in history. But first, a New York woman died after she was struck by a car in Bridgeport while checking on a child in the back seat on Saturday night. 31-year-old Emma Torres of Mamaroneck, New York, had pulled over her 2005 Acura on the exit 27 southbound on-ramp for Interstate 95 around 10:55 p.m. Saturday. State police reported that her car was stopped, straddling the travel lane and the shoulder. Well, the Connecticut Post reports that Torres was standing outside of the car tending to a child in the back seat when 19-year-old Catherine Hannah Morris of Bridgeport tried to drive past her and collided with Torres. Now, Torres was brought to Bridgeport Hospital where she died from her injuries, according to the report. There were 4 other people in the car at the time, including a 30-year-old woman from Bridgeport, a 7-year-old girl from Ansonia, a 7-year-old girl from Bridgeport, and an 11-year-old girl from Ansonia. None of them were injured, police said, and that case is still under investigation. And in other news, Stratford police say a drunk driver crashed into a front porch around 3 a.m. Sunday morning. A Broadbridge Avenue's home front porch was damaged after a car driven by an Ansonia man crashed into the residence. 23-year-old Joseph Seguin of Ansonia was charged by Stratford police with driving under the influence and failure to drive right. Police said Seguin crashed his car into the residence at 1734 Broadbridge Avenue around 3 a.m. The home's front porch was damaged, as was a vehicle parked in the residence's driveway, police said, but no injuries were reported. And in other news, in New Canaan this morning, Frogtown Road is closed near Wells Lane due to a collapsed water pipe and repairs that are underway by New Canaan Public Works. That pipe is 24 inches in diameter, and Frogtown is accessible from Weed Street up to the residence at number 436 near Wells Lane. Then the road is closed. Access to that area is also available from Ponus Ridge Road, but then again, vehicles will hit an impassable spot at Wells. Officials told the Advertiser that they plan to have the road open later today, but you can get updates at ncadvertiser.com. And Hearst, Connecticut media reports that the June 30th arrest of a Newtown man for having a handgun in his carry-on bag came on the busiest travel day of the year. TSA reports it was also during a 2-week period when more than 80 guns were discovered at airport checkpoints. 2 weeks earlier, 150 firearms were found in carry-ons, with 128 that were loaded. Now, the seizures follow a trend of an increasing number of weapons found in carry-on baggage. It also comes at a time when a record number of Americans are traveling during the busy summer season. In 2016, screeners at airport checkpoints recovered 3,391 firearms, up 28% from the year before, according to the Federal Transportation Administration. Now, most of those confiscated guns, 83%, were loaded. The Newtown man, who was not identified by TSA, was busted at LaGuardia Airport in New York after inspectors found the unloaded gun. TSA officers detected the guns as the man entered the checkpoint and placed his carry-on items in the X-ray conveyor belt. TSA officers contacted the Port Authority police, who confiscated the pistol and arrested the man on weapons charges. And here's an unusual story. Seymour Fire Chief Michael Lombardi is warning residents not to dress fire hydrants in clothes. The chief posted a photo of a Meadow Street hydrant over the weekend that was dressed in a hat and a shirt. Lombardi said it is not a laughing matter to dress up a fire hydrant. As a matter of fact, it's a safety issue and it's illegal. The chief said it delays the department from putting water on a fire and it puts firefighters at risk. Now, Lombardi also noted if you're going to mess around with hydrants, he suggests not leaving your name in your clothes. Well, Senators Chris Murphy and Richard Blumenthal will host an opioid epidemic summit today, Monday, July 10th, at Housatonic Community College. Now, that summit starts today at noon, and parking will be available at the Housatonic Community College's parking garage. The summit's keynote speaker, Dr. Bertha Madras, who worked in the White House Office of National Drug Control Policy under George W. Bush and currently serves as the only doctor on President Donald Trump's opioid task force. You can get more information at any of our HAN network news sites. And in other news, the Weston Police Commission has voted to hire a new police chief. A vote on the new chief was made following a discussion held in executive session by the commission on Thursday, July 6th. Commission Chairman Bill Brady would not release the name of the new chief because of a conditional offer of employment that was made subject to a number of procedures such as a background check and screenings. Now, the new chief will replace John Troxell, who retired in February and will likely start in September, according to Brady. Since Troxell's departure, Weston Police Sergeant Matt Bradracki has been running the department as interim chief. You can get more on that story at thewestonforum.com. And the Center for Family Justice is hosting a fun summer camp experience to approximately 40 local children who've been adversely impacted by the generational cycles of domestic and sexual violence and child abuse. Camp Hope Connecticut launched on June 26 as the first summer camp and mentoring program in New England for children who have experienced primary or secondary abuse and trauma. Now, this groundbreaking camp, which offers a clinically proven curriculum designed to help children overcome trauma to lead to hopeful lives, is being offered by the center in close collaboration with the Central Connecticut Coast YMCA at 2 locations, Lakewood Trumbull YMCA Camp Teepee in Monroe and the YMCA Camp High Rock in the Massachusetts Berkshires. Now, Camp Hope Connecticut is modeled after several other Camp Hope programs which launched throughout the United States during the past several years. The first Camp Hope opened in San Diego, California back in 2003. Now, to support Camp Hope Connecticut, you can find out more at the centerforfamilyjustice.org. But let's switch gears now, throw it over to Frank Granito for a look at the forecast. Frank, it's not raining today.
No, thank you, Kate. We somehow survived Friday, made it through the weekend, and those sunny conditions we saw on Sunday and Saturday are carrying over into Monday. Sunny and pleasant out to start the week, partly cloudy skies right now and temperatures in the high 80s. Cloud cover will continue to dissipate as we get later and later into the day, along with a light breeze between 10 to 14 miles per hour. Humidity will be on the rise this evening, though, and we're going to see some muggy conditions overnight and mostly cloudy skies starting around 10 p.m. with a low of 72 before Tuesday morning. Those muggy conditions from tonight will carry through to tomorrow morning, as Tuesday is going to be hot and humid with intervals of sun and clouds throughout the day. Cloud cover is increasing later in the afternoon tomorrow, and there is a chance for on and off thunderstorms tomorrow evening and overnight. And the overnight rain will break before Wednesday morning as we're staring down another hot and humid day with on and off periods of sun. An expected high of 88 during the day is going to feel more like 96 with humidity levels around 65%. Increasing cloud cover again late on Wednesday, and there's a chance for some passing showers overnight as we head to the back half of the week. That's going to do it for this weather update. Let's send it back over to Kate.
Thanks so much, Frank. Well, we're going to step out for a break, and when we come back, Donald Ang will take a look back on this day in history. Frank has your Nutmeg Sports Update, and there's more local news after this. Celebrate summer with fresh made-to-order picnic boxes from Walter Stewart's Market. We have delicious summery selections from buttermilk fried chicken to grilled lemon chicken kebab, grilled shrimp Caesar salad wraps, or lobster salad rolls. Our easy-to-carry picnic boxes come with your choice of a meal, as well as a dessert, beverage, and utensils. Order online for simple pickup options. Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street, New Canaan, and online at stewartsmarket.com.
Did you know heart attacks and strokes are the leading cause of death in America? Protect the health of you and your loved ones. Talk to a doctor about heart disease. Hi, I'm Dr. David Pazer with ProHealth Physicians, encouraging you to stay informed about health matters that affect you.
ProHealth Physicians is on the pulse of social media to share information about health and nutrition with the community. Get up-to-the-minute alerts, including ProHealth Physicians news and upcoming events. Connecticut's leading group of primary care doctors is just a click away.
I can't believe it.
Well, Dad, you did it. You sold 160 cars. Ready to go back upstairs now?
I think it's time. I wonder how the boys are making out in their new office.
Not what I had in mind, Kyle. What, Dad?
Maybe we should retire. Right now, lease a 2017 Rogue S for only $139 a month.
Isn't it time you got Millerized?
If you've ever thought about owning a motor coach or learning about what it's like to travel the open road in superior style and comfort, then contact Dave's RV Center in Danbury, Connecticut. Offering the best quality Class A motorhomes from Newmar, travel trailers and fifth wheel lines from Surveyor, and a toy hauler line from Work and Play. Choose from Newmar's Gas Line, Bay Star and Canyon Star, or from Newmar's Diesel Line, Ventana and Dutch Star. And with unparalleled service and maintenance, Dave's RV is committed to keeping you and your motor coach safely on the road and enjoying it to the fullest. Stop by their showroom, 2 Industrial Plaza Road, Danbury, Connecticut, or call 877-483-3866.
Want a new experience in car buying? Scap Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram with one of the largest inventories of new 2- and 4-door Wranglers. We are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Come visit our new Ram Truck Center. Browse our websites, scapchryslerjeep.com or scapdodge.net to find the new Jeep, Chrysler Dodge car, minivan, or Ram truck you've been looking for. Just 2 miles from both I-95 or the Merritt Parkway exit 44. Save thousands right now at the Summer Clearance Event, going on now through July 31st.
If you're watching this broadcast, you're not alone. The HAN network is available for 200,000 Connecticut cable customers on the Frontier network, and we've also reached more than 2 million viewers on our free live streaming sports, news, and entertainment broadcasts. To reach our rapidly growing audience, contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
Welcome back to this July 10th edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. Time to throw it over to our own Donald Lang to take a look back on this day in history. Don.
Well, Kate, it was a bombing opposing anti-bombing, if you can believe that. But first, we're going to go to 1778. Louis XVI of France declares war on the Kingdom of Great Britain. Now, this made the American Revolution a world war between Britain and France, with the colonies being only one theater. France provided an army under George Washington's command and a navy and money, and also attacked British territories in the West Indies and Asia. Unfortunately for Louis, Ben Franklin negotiated a separate peace with Britain, and after the war, it was Britain, not France, that became the Americans' biggest trading partner. The resulting economic disaster in France led directly to the French Revolution. 1913, the temperature in Death Valley, California hits 134.5 degrees, the highest ambient temperature ever recorded on Earth. Now, interestingly, less than 10 years later, a higher temperature of about 136 degrees was recorded at an Italian outpost in Libya. That stood as the record for 90 years until the World Meteorological Organization disqualified it after determining that an inexperienced soldier had misrecorded the temperature. Don't ask me how they determined that. I have no idea. 1992, former Panamanian leader Manuel Noriega to 40 years in prison for drug and racketeering violations. Now, Noriega had been a CIA liaison for 30 years, funneling weapons and money to counterinsurgency groups in Central America, and also using his contacts to smuggle vast amounts of cocaine. By 1983, he had established himself as dictator of the country, rigging elections and imprisoning political enemies, but it was his decision to sell U.S. intelligence secrets that led to the 1989 invasion of Panama and his removal from power. Finally, now we go to 1985, Auckland, New Zealand, for this.
Bomb went off. I didn't really realize what it was. I just woke up, and I thought we'd been in a collision with another boat at sea. So I looked out my forward porthole and I saw the lights of Marsden Wharf. I thought, well, okay, it's not my fault. I got up and everything was upside down in my cabin. I could see water, about 1 meter below the main deck level. I had no idea what that could be. I figured somebody left a tap running is really what went through my mind. And that's when the second bomb went off. And it went off right under our feet. And I thought, okay, time to go. So I walked back aft.
Yes, the Greenpeace ship Rainbow Warrior bombed and sunk in Auckland by French agents while en route to protest French nuclear testing at the Bikini Atoll. The bombing was considered an act of international terrorism, and New Zealand officials arrested the French agents who served 2 years in jail before being released back to France. The ship was later refloated and then sunk as a dive wreck and artificial reef. It now supports an entire mini ecosystem. That is your look back in history for today, July 10th, and I'm Donald Lang.
All right, thanks so much, Don. Well, staying on a historical theme, 93-year-old World War II veteran and former Wilton resident Peter Kaskell was awarded one of France's highest medals, the Legion of Honor, during an outdoor ceremony in New York City on July 1st. Now, that medal is bestowed upon eligible United States veterans of World War II who contributed significantly to the liberation of France from 1944 to 1945. Wilton residents Trygve Hansen and the late Charles Baffo received the Legion of Honor in 2015. Kaskell was born in Berlin, Germany in 1924. With the rise of Adolf Hitler, Kaskell's parents sent him and his sister to England to attend school, and not long after, the entire family moved to the U.S. and settled in New York. He was drafted into World War II, and because of German background, the Army had him interrogate German prisoners for information. Later, as a technical sergeant, Kaskell said he had a very important function, obtaining information about the enemy and informing the U.S. Army. There's much more on that story at wiltonbulletin.com. But let's throw it back over to Frank Granito for a Nutmeg Sports Update. Frank.
Thank you, Kate. As we look back on the weekend, let's start with the 14U Babe Ruth State Tournament on Sunday as we get closer and closer to our coverage of the New England Regional Tournament at the end of this month. Trumbull, the host town, lost a tough heartbreaker 3-2 against Waterford in the second round of the tournament. Trumbull will now play tonight at 5:30 against Stratford, who beat Cheshire 10-9 to eliminate Cheshire from the tournament. Waterford advances to the winner's bracket final. They will take on Stanford, who defeated Newtown 11-5 in 8 innings. In that Trumbull-Waterford game, Brandon Buda of Trumbull hit a 2-run home run. Ryan Teixeira, Christian Van Zyl, and Jake Grudadoria all had singles. For Waterford, Ryan Backen and Austin Cador each had 2 hits. Trey Brennan and Ryan O'Connell also had singles. And of course, this past weekend on Friday and Saturday, the HAN Network was at New Canaan High School for the 2017 Grip It and Rip It Passing Tournament. It was the 10th time that the Rams played host to this passing tournament, and this year the champions were Iona Prep as they held off rival Stepinac in the championship game. The Greenwich Cardinals fell to Stepinac in the semifinals. They were the last standing Connecticut team. Altogether, there were 7 FCX schools competing in the tournament out of the 16-team field. Kevin Coleman and I will have a full breakdown for you this afternoon on Nutmeg Sports at 2 o'clock. That's going to do it for this Nutmeg Sports Update. Let's go back over to Kate.
Thanks so much, Frank. Well, in other local news, Ridgefield's new Nod Hill Brewery will make its debut appearance at the Bethel Beer Fest on Friday, July 14th. The Ridgefield-based business, which opens its doors at 137 Ethan Allen Highway this fall, announced on its Facebook page that it will be giving local beer consumers a first taste at that festival in Bethel. The event starts at 6 p.m. and features live music, local food vendors, and an array of craft beers. Nod Hill Brewery is the town's first craft brewery and tap room. Now, in a cool story from the Shelton Herald, a local grandmother is a YouTube sensation. Lillian Droniak, also known as Grandma Lil, who's 87 years old, of Shelton, and her grandson Kevin Droniak of Newtown have gained many people's attention through their popular YouTube channel. The duo has made 224 comedy videos over the last 5 years and have gained over 500,000 subscribers and more than 46 million views in total. Now, what began as a funny inside joke for Kevin in his freshman year of high school 5 years ago has now turned into he and his grandmother's favorite thing to do together. 5 years down the road, the duo has appeared via Skype on the Jimmy Kimmel Show and most recently on a show on NBC about talented youth and seniors called Little Big Shots. Now, the show on NBC featuring Grandma Lil and Kevin aired on Wednesday, July 5th and gave him an opportunity to meet and speak with host Steve Harvey. Well, Shelton Herald editor Aaron Berkowitz also had a chance to speak with the duo recently about their success. Check it out.
Guys, so you have to tell me, you guys are best friends. There's obviously an age difference. What's your favorite thing to do together?
I know what. I'm trying to think. Well, a lot of the things I want to do with her, she doesn't want to actually do with me because she thinks she's going to get hurt. Because I've wanted to go skydiving with her because it's really fun, but like, I don't know if she'd... It might be too draining on her. But I don't know. What do you think is like something that we do that...
I holler at you. You know, yesterday you took a video. If you don't... What did you say? Climb up the roof and we got to jump? I say, you are crazy. That is ridiculous.
Yeah, sometimes I forget that she's like
You don't do that.
There's a huge age gap, you know?
And so he jumped over this. He jumped over the deck. He could have broke his leg too.
So we like to watch Criminal Minds though.
I love Criminal Minds and Blue Bloods.
Okay. So what's it like gaining all this popularity just for being yourselves in front of the camera?
Could you imagine?
What do you think?
Did you ever see it becoming this?
I never. I said, Kevin, thank God you are born. Because if you weren't born, I wouldn't be doing all of this.
You're welcome.
And there's much more on Grandma Lil at SheltonHerald.com. We're going to step out for a break, and when we come back, we're going to recap some of the top stories we're following today after this.
Want a new experience in car buying? No aggravation, no confrontation, just answers to all your questions. Scap Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Car buying the way you want it to be. With one of the largest selections of new 2- and 4-door Jeep Wranglers available, we are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Located in Fairfield, Connecticut, we're easy to get to. Just 2.5 miles off the Merritt Parkway, exit 44 via Route 58 South. Save thousands right now at the Summer Clearance Event. Going on now through July 31st.
You don't have to go far for authentic Neapolitan cuisine and renowned wood fire pizza. Pizzeria Loretano of Bethel is a contemporary Italian bistro, specializing in authentic wood-fired brick oven pizza Napoletana. Pizzeria Loretano was named one of America's top 1,000 Italian restaurants in 2008 by Zagat, and recommended by Jane and Michael Stern on National Public Radio's Splendid Table. Located close to the Bethel Cinema, we focus on quality, and our food is always made to order. Join us for live jazz Sundays from 6 to 8. Find our schedule, menu, and more at pizzerialoretano.com and like us on Facebook.
At InSports Trumbull, the game is always on inside. Registration is now open for our fitness training programs for high school athletes. The InSports Performance Center is offering blast speed classes, athletic functional movement assessments, and both men's and women's elite speed and strength training. Our premier programs help bring athletes to the next level. Call 203-268-1214 for more information. Like and follow us on Facebook.
School's out, the weather is hot, and the fish are biting. Whether you're heading to the beach or out on a boat, stop in at the dock shop before you go to fill your beach bag or tackle box with everything you'll need for fun in the sun. A new beach cover-up, some sunscreen, or just some bait, the dock shop has you covered from either location. 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport. And yes, you heard that right. Bait is now available in Darien and Westport. The dock shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, dockshop.com.
I'm Tracy Masella, a licensed clinical social worker at Silver Hill Hospital in New Canaan. Join me each month as we talk with experts on the front lines of the treatment of mental health and addiction. Straight Talk with Tracy, a Silver Hill Hospital production, airs at 12 p.m. on the second Thursday of each month here on the HAN network.
Welcome back to this Monday edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, recapping some of the top stories we're following today. A New York woman died after she was struck by a car in Bridgeport while checking on a child in the back seat on Saturday night. 31-year-old Emma Torres of Mamaroneck, New York, had pulled over her 2005 Acura on the exit 27 southbound on-ramp for Interstate 95 just before 11 p.m. Saturday. State police reported that her car was stopped and straddling the travel lane in the shoulder. The Connecticut Post reports that Torres was standing outside of the car tending to a child in the back seat when 19-year-old Catherine Hannah Morris of Bridgeport tried to drive her car past her and collided with Torres, according to state police. Torres was brought to Bridgeport Hospital where she died from her injuries. There were 4 other people in Torres's car at the time, including a 30-year-old woman from Bridgeport, a 7-year-old girl from Ansonia, a 7-year-old girl from Bridgeport, and an 11-year-old girl from Ansonia. None of them were injured, police said, and that case is under investigation. And in other news, Stratford police say a drunk driver crashed into a front porch around 3 a.m. Sunday morning. A Broadbridge Avenue's home front porch was damaged after that car driven by an Ansonia man crashed into the home. 23-year-old Joseph Seguin of Ansonia was charged by Stratford police with driving under the influence and failure to drive right. Police said Seguin crashed his car into the residence at 1734 Broadbridge Avenue at around 3 a.m. The home's front porch was damaged, as was a vehicle that was parked in the home's driveway. No other injuries were reported. And in New Canaan, Frogtown Road is closed near Wells Lane due to a collapsed water pipe and repairs that are underway by New Canaan Public Works. That pipe is 24 inches in diameter, and Frogtown is accessible from Weed Street up to residence number 436 near Wells Lane. Then the road is closed. Access to that area is also available from Ponus Ridge Road, but then again, vehicles will hit an impassable spot at Wells. Officials told the New Canaan Advertiser they plan to have the road open later today, but you can get updates at ncadvertiser.com. And Hearst, Connecticut media reports that the June 30th arrest of a Newtown man for having a handgun in his carry-on bag came on the busiest travel day of the year. TSA reports it was also during a 2-week period when more than 80 guns were discovered at airport checkpoints. 2 weeks earlier, 150 firearms were found in carry-ons, with 128 that were loaded. Now, the seizures follow a trend of an increasing number of weapons found in carry-on baggage. It also comes at a time when a record number of Americans are traveling during the busy summer season. Back in 2016, screeners at airport checkpoints discovered 3,391 firearms, up 28% from the year before, according to the Federal Transportation Security Administration. Now, most of those confiscated guns, 83%, were loaded. The Newtown man, who was not identified by TSA, was busted at LaGuardia Airport in New York after inspectors found the unloaded gun. TSA officers detected the gun as the man entered the checkpoint and placed his carry-on items on the X-ray conveyor belt. TSA officers then contacted the Port Authority police, who confiscated the pistol and arrested the man on weapons charges. And sort of an unusual story out of Seymour, where Fire Chief Michael Lombardi is warning residents not to dress fire hydrants in clothes. The chief posted photos of a Meadow Street hydrant over the weekend on Facebook that was dressed in a hat and a shirt. Lombardi said it's not a laughing matter to dress up a fire hydrant, and as a matter of fact, it can be a safety issue and it's illegal. The chief said it delays the department from putting water on a fire and puts firefighters at risk. Lombardi also noted if you're going to mess around with the hydrant, he suggests not leaving your name on the clothes. All right, let's throw it over to Frank Granito now for one final look at the forecast. Frank.
Thank you, Kate. As it's going to be sunny and pleasant out today, we shouldn't need any fire hydrants to break that much humidity. Cooler conditions, you're going to see temperatures in the mid to high 80s. Not as humid, but that is coming on later this evening. Humidity will be on the climb tonight with mostly cloudy skies and a low of 72 heading into Tuesday morning. It's going to be muggy again on Tuesday, carrying over from tonight. Hot as well. Intervals of sun and clouds with highs in the low 90s. Cloud cover increasing in the later afternoon, and we could see some thunderstorms tomorrow evening and overnight before Wednesday. The rain will break before Wednesday morning, but it's going to be another hot and humid day with on and off periods of sun. An expected high of 88 is going to feel more like 96 with humidity levels around 65%. Increasing cloud cover later in the day on Wednesday, and there is a chance for passing showers overnight as we head to the back half of the week. That's going to do it for this weather update. Let's send it back over to Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. Well, we're going to wrap things up here on your coffee break. Nutmeg Sports coming up at 2 o'clock, and we'll see you tomorrow for your coffee break at 11. Have a great day.